Hello, everyone. For my teacher interview, I interviewed a second grade general education teacher, but she also has taught gifted classes in second grade. Therefore, I thought that she may be able to provide a little bit more insight into creative children in the classroom. Um, when I asked her some of her experiences with creative children in the classroom, she told me that they love to do brainstorming activities because they think more fluently and flexibly than some of her other students. Therefore, they come up with wild and crazy, highly creative ideas. She also said that they love STEM type activities because it allows for them to think outside of the box and use their interests and their creativity to take it as far as they want to take it. The other activity that she said her creative students tend to like more than some of her other students are creative drama activities. She said that um, they are more willing to basically embarrass themselves, or they're not afraid to embarrass themselves by acting silly and um, becoming somebody that they're not in the creative drama activities. So, those were some of her experiences with creative students. When I asked her to describe some attributes of creative students, she said that she could go on for hours listing adjectives about her creative students. She said that they often do not conform to social norms. They are more willing to express themselves in their actions and the way that they dress, and therefore, this may make their peers consider them to be weird or odd, which can cause problems socially for her creative students. She said that they are very intuitive. They feel things on a very deep level. They often know things and sense things, yet they can't express where they acquired this information. So that was very interesting for me to hear. She said they're great problem solvers. They love puns and word plays. They often have a great sense of humor. She said some creative students are less organized and may be considered a little bit ADD or ADHD as far as they're daydreamers. They have a hard time focusing sometimes. Um, she said that some of her creative students are very artistic as far as painting or drawing, but that others enjoy building things. They enjoy creating things in the digital world, such as on computers or with robotics. They have vivid imaginations. A lot of them enjoy reading fantasy type books. When I asked her the activities that her creative students tend to enjoy the most, she said all hands on activities that allow for them to create based on their interests are the activities that they prefer, and that if teachers would gear activities that allows for students to create things based on their interests, that it would keep the creative students more focused and willing to work harder in class. She said that the activities that she tries to avoid for her creative students are any type of mundane, rote activities such as worksheets and memorization activities. She also said activities that require a lot of analytical thinking, such as chess, and activities that take a long time to complete are avoided at all costs by her more creative students. Um, how she sets up her curriculum for her creative students, she said that she really tries to focus on teaching them organizational skills and to be mindful of how important it is to stay organized and to stay on top of things, because these are skills that they are going to need in their everyday life. So she really tries to teach organizational skills. She offers opportunities for her students to express themselves in class, activities that are open ended and allow for them to be creative, activities that often don't have a right or wrong answer. She tries to incorporate objectives into those activities so that they are allowed to express themselves, yet they're still working on the objectives that they need to learn in class. When I asked her how does she encourage parents to help their creative children, she said the number one thing that she tells parents every year when parents come to her, worried about their creative children, worried about their focus and their organizational skills, she tells parents to not sweat the small stuff with their children. Don't nag them about messy rooms or Legos everywhere on the floor. That's just how their brain works, and to really try and be empathetic towards that, and that this is not something that they can control, but that you can teach them skills to manage their focus and their organization. She said she also encourages parents to do their own research on the internet of ways to help their children and the latest information on creative children. Another thing that she tells parents that is very important is to find after school activities and summer camps, groups, play dates where their children can interact with other children who have the same interests as them, and activities that allow them to express themselves, be energetic, and creative outside of the classroom, because socialization can be a challenge for extremely creative children. So she encourages parents to do that. What are the challenges of creative children in the classroom? When I asked her that question, she kind of giggled and she said, well, all students have challenges because all students have different needs. But in the classroom, creative children can be less organized and less focused, so it can be harder to keep them on task. She also said when she gives highly creative children assignments with the entire class, that they often want to solve the problem based on their own perspective, and so they take it and solve it the way that they want to, or the way that they think it should be solved, instead of the way the directions were given to solve the project or activity. Therefore, they don't meet the standards and the rubric for the project. So a lot of times they want to do it their way instead of the way that the directions were given. Another problem, or not problem, but issue with creative children in the classroom is that she tries to create a cohesive community in her classroom, and a lot of times, because creative children don't often conform to social norms, they stick out, or they're teased or bullied. So she tries to meet the needs of all of her students, as well as getting all of the students to work together and see each other's differences as positive instead of negative. So she said that was a real concern of hers, that she really strives to get all of the children to accept each other and all of their differences. Um, she told me that her daughter is considered a highly creative child. Her daughter is now in college, but that when her daughter was in elementary school, a lot of what she described in our interview were things that she dealt with her own personal child. Therefore, she's very empathetic for her highly creative students, and that she values their attributes and their differences so she can work harder and be a little bit more understanding with these highly creative students. Thank you.